XRP is one of the most bullish looking altcoins out there in this space. I recently made a video talking about how XRP is set to have a violent recovery. Well, if we're being realistic, the entire crypto market is set to have a violent recovery. But XRP is a little bit different in the sense of how bullish the chart actually is. Now, again, I make a lot of XRP content. So am I just saying that XRP is bullish because I make a lot of XRP content? No, it's because the chart is literally one of the most bullish altcoin charts in this space right now. When we think about the recent move in this space, this wick and this move that happened on Friday told us a big story. It told us one of the most important stories to read in this space. And that's the story of every significant exaggerated sell-off in history has led to one of the most violent recoveries as well. A very good example of this is just utilizing the XRP price chart. And I'll throw this on the 3-week view, because going back to our previous major wicks to the downside, again, I go back to December of 2020. I go back to March of 2020. These two wicks are where peak FUD has hit the market. December of 2020, the SEC lawsuit hits. It's one of the most bearish times in XRP's history. Significant wick to the downside. March of 2020, COVID. Massive black swan event. Every chart out there in the world sells off massively. People think crypto is dead. It's done. XRP hits a low of 11 and almost a half cents. Just to bounce back and hit a high of almost $2 1 year later. We just witnessed XRP hit a low of $1.58, almost $1.59. Not a crazy low. However, it is a significant sell-off. This sell-off from the top to the bottom here was a 56% drop. The low back in March of 2020 was a 66% drop. We were 10% less away from matching the March low. After that March low, we went and did a 1,600% push move to the upside. Let's say we just do half of that from our recent low. We'll just go off of 800%, right? That's a $14+ XRP. That would be insane to witness. And it's 100% possible. Now, again, I bring this up simply because of the current chart outline, which also takes us kind of back to 2017, where XRP was already having a nice run up in May. Then we sold off heavy, and then we went crazy. Again, the price drop here, 67%. The price rise, 2,500%. Even if we subtract 1,000 off of the current chart, that's almost a $12 XRP. Guys, this is why XRP currently, right now, looks extremely bullish, because the only other times that we've had a setup like this, where we've had an exaggerated sell-off, one of the largest sell-offs in crypto history, we have witnessed this lead into major bullish pushes to the upside. But I'm not the only one that's looking at this way. In fact, veteran trader Peter Brandt hails XRP's purest bullish chart setup. Veteran trader Peter Brandt described XRP's long-term log chart as one of the purest bullish setups in his decades of experience. Citing a multi-year basing pattern since 2014, the analysis shared on October 13th, 2025 received endorsements from analyst Credible Crypto, projecting double-digit prices, and lawyer Johnny Deaton amid community predictions up to $1,000. XRP trades at $2.58 with over $10 billion in 24-hour volume, following the resolved SEC lawsuit. though short-term indicators suggest possible pullbacks from $2.70 in terms of resistance. Now, listen, when we think about what's happening here, yeah, the chart setup is extremely bullish. This is the post from Peter himself, and this is what he's looking at, where we have this long extended wedge, just like back in 2014, right? Which led to the massive breakout into the all-time high that we always go back to. And then if we look at where we currently are trading, it's very similar to that price range from May throughout the summer into the fall. We're kind of at that point right now, which is why I said, this point on the chart is very important to focus on, because it kind of feels like we're right here. And we already know that this thing went insane to the upside back in 2017 and 2018 to hit that all-time high. So if we do that same thing, well then, a $12 almost XRP could be in play here, which would be very significant. Now, also, yes, Johnny Deaton did quote this and said, "I'd like to know what both blockchain backer and Credible Crypto think related to Peter's point." Now, Credible Crypto did respond and said, "This has been my bias for a while, and nothing has changed in the last 48 hours. The XRP chart remains one of the most bullish higher time frame charts in this entire space, and I look forward to seeing XRP at double digits by the end of this cycle." And yeah, I completely agree with this sentiment. I mean, listen, it's hard not to think bullish about XRP at this point. The chart looks extremely bullish. On top of the chart being extremely bullish, the entire space, right? When we think about the entire space, we just had one of the largest crashes in history since going all the way back to COVID. If this chart plays out the same exact way, we could see the entire space go ballistic over the next couple weeks. Again, the question here is if we see the same pattern play out. But the biggest thing here for me is not having the same exact rally from March of 2020 all the way through like March of 2021 and into November of 2021. The main thing that I'm looking at is this entire market bouncing back, which I am highly confident that this market is going to bounce back and we will continue higher. What I'm really looking at is XRP and a catalyst behind XRP to support XRP hitting $10 to like $15. Let's start off with the fact that we're witnessing the market around XRP expand, like with CME Group. CME Group put out a post recently saying the CFTC regulated options on Solana and XRP are now live and trading today. Now, for those that don't know, this is in regards to that post from October 6th, which did say CFTC regulated options on Solana and XRP futures launch in just 1 week. This follows 59 billion plus in combined XRP and Solana futures volume, because again, XRP has been one of the most successful futures contracts on the CME Group platform, which is also highlighting the growth around possible ETFs. Now, in regards to ETFs, we already know that there's been a ton of significant updates regarding those ETFs for XRP, like, for example, Bitwise filing amendment number 3 with the US SEC for its Bitwise XRP ETF. This got posted by John Squire. And then we also got another post from him saying, breaking, Wisdom Tree submits amendment number 2 to the SEC for the Wisdom Tree Fund. We just got a ton of updates regarding a lot of these ETFs for XRP. This is the full list. These are the final deadlines. Again, October is a very bullish month for XRP regarding all of these deadlines, because this starts on October 22nd, the 23rd. We also have the 19th, the 24th, the 18th, the 23rd as well. And then going into November, Franklin Templeton, November 14th. A lot of these right now are pending. However, I do think that there's a high probability of these getting fully greenlit. And the reason why I say that is because the SEC has been extremely bullish on the crypto space. We have yet to see any big update regarding these ETFs just yet, but at any moment, these can get the green light. And what's crazy about this is Cointelegraph, which is typically very bearish on XRP, recently posted about all of these ETFs for XRP, saying, "Insight, XRP may be Wall Street's dark horse, with spot ETF filings in motion and some funds viewing it as the next Bitcoin," which is kind of crazy to see. But, again, if we're thinking about all of this, and we're looking at the price chart, I think that it's very easy to come to the conclusion that, yeah, XRP has a ton of catalysts, not just regarding Ripple swell and all those things that I just recently talked about in a recent XRP video. It's also the fact that XRP at this moment is simply just one of the most bullish altcoins in this space. Veterans are noticing it. These are major analysts that are looking at the XRP chart and they're seeing exactly what we see, which is this long extended, consolidation, which just led to one of the biggest breakouts in November. And since then, I know that everyone's going to say, oh, but we recently hit a new high on this chart. Technically speaking, we just hit resistance on this chart. We really haven't, on the higher time frame structure, we have yet to really break out on this chart. So since then, we've just been in this consolidation pattern. And even on this recent wick to the downside, this is still just consolidation. These wicks do not matter at all. So the longer that we consolidate in this wedge now, the higher we should go. So far, XRP has been one of the most successful altcoins this cycle. I think that that's going to continue. And I really do think that XRP, a lot of people are saying, oh, XRP can't even hold $3. It can't even do this. It can't even do that. All of those people are very similar to the ones that were saying all throughout, 2022, 2023, 2024, all of them were saying, oh, XRP is doing absolutely nothing. It's just in this, long extended uptrend. It's doing absolutely nothing. Oh, XRP is still under 50 cents. All of a sudden, XRP broke out, and all of those people disappeared. There was no comments from them. Now that XRP is essentially stalled out and the market's consolidating, the market's been boring since going all the way back to January, all of a sudden those haters are showing up again, talking about how XRP can't hold $3, it can't do this, it can't do that. And, history doesn't always repeat, but it does rhyme. And this time around, I really do think that XRP is going to silence those haters yet again and do something absolutely crazy in terms of price action. The chart is extremely bullish. The overall sentiment around XRP right now is very bearish at a time where we have all of these major catalysts upcoming. And it's not even just about ETFs, right? Like, yeah, sure, ETFs are a big one, but we also have so much happening around the Clarity Act. We have so much happening around Ripple swell. The adoption around the XRP ecosystem is picking up. We're starting to see a big boom across the board for crypto at a time where we just witnessed one of the largest crashes around crypto. It shook the market to its core. People flipped bearish. And I really do think that this is where we start to see a violent recovery. But also, XRP is going to go on a massive tear, in my opinion. And it's really going to play out like, similar cycles. A lot of people are looking at this very similar to 2017, 2018. We talked about it recently. If that's the case, then we're talking about a $10 to $15 XRP. And I don't think anyone's going to hate on that if we do see that. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.